Hello, welcome to today's Global Marathon session, the best career advice you'll ever get. My name is Sarah Stengel and I'm the moderator for today's session. Our format today is a virtual panel. We solicited questions for the panel via social media several weeks ago, and today we'll get answers from 5 amazing women in STEM fields. Each of these women has taken time to record an answer to a specific question and to give their best advice. We'll watch the videos together, and then afterwards I suggest that we have a Q&A session. So as we go along, feel free to enter your questions into the question and answer section of the chat window. And at the end, we will get to as many questions as we can. We'll go ahead and get started. I will start each video with a quick introduction of the speaker. And first up is me. So again, my name is Sarah Stengel. I have an undergraduate degree in electrical engineering as well as an MBA. I've worked at Motorola Solutions in Chicago, Illinois for 20 years. I serve as the global lead for Motorola's chapter of Society of Women Engineers, and I participate actively in our Women's Business Council. I work to have a well-balanced life as a wife, a mother, a friend, an engineer, and an advocate for women. In the short video that we're about to queue up, I'll be giving some advice on how to get over your shyness in order to network more effectively. So let's go ahead and get started with the first video. Hello, I'm Sarah Stengel. I'm a senior quality manager at Motorola Solutions in Chicago, Illinois. I am an engineer by trade, and I am an introvert. Many years ago, a mentor of mine gave me advice. She told me that I should be networking more. She actually suggested that I should spend 15 to 30% of my week networking. And by that she meant going to events, going to trade shows, conferences, or simply having lunch with someone that I had not spoken with before. And for me that was scary. I have always been comfortable with public speaking as long as I have a well-prepared topic to talk about. What was scary for me was the thought of going into a room full of people where I know nobody. I've actually had nightmares about that. And so for me, the question was, how could I become more comfortable in those situations? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to start off by saying, unfortunately, you never actually become more comfortable. But you are able to build up your courage so that you can step outside of your comfort zone. And so I have 3 tips today that I will talk about that will help you step outside of your comfort zone. Tip number 1 is to remember that there is a high probability that others in the room are just as nervous as you. It is human nature to be afraid or nervous of the unknown. So just knowing that and knowing that you're not alone can help you. Tip number 2 is about what do you do next. So you've gotten the courage to walk into the room. What do? Do you walk up to a group of people and hope that they bring you into the fold? Do you jump into a conversation and just start telling a crazy story? My suggestion in that is to look for an easy in. So first off, look around the room and see, is there anybody like you that is standing there by themselves? And walk up to them, introduce yourself, ask them what they're doing there, and try to start up a conversation. If you can't see any of those, if you don't see a single standalone person in the group, then I would look for a group of people that is in conversation, but not deep in conversation. There is nothing more awkward than stepping into a personal or private conversation. So look for the group of people that's in a circle, not super close to each other, but having a conversation that doesn't look like a deep private conversation. And then walk on up. And you may get lucky, and they may pull you into the conversation and start asking you who you are and bring you right into the fold. Or you might have the awkward situation where everybody stops talking and looks at you. And you wonder what to do next. So my 3rd tip is prepare for that awkward pause. And you do that by having a tagline or an introduction. Know how you would want to introduce yourself, and it's dependent on the group of people that you're with, the conference that you're at, or the event that you're attending. And introduce yourself in that way, and tell them who you are and why you're there. And then be ready with a possible topic of conversation. And so for this, you've got to do a little bit of research. Be prepared in advance. Understand the topics that are being presented at the conference and bring up one of them. Or understand the current events and something that you can talk about. It'll give you an opportunity to start a conversation, and then you can listen and encourage others to take up the stand. You do not need to be the person that owns the conversation and keeps the conversation going. You just need to start it up so that others can then take the reins. And then finally, in all of this, in summary, practice, practice, practice. You may become more comfortable. I personally have never been comfortable and still am uncomfortable in that scenario, but I know enough to push myself through and to start a conversation or to step into the situation. So in summary, number 1, remember that others are just as nervous as you. Number 2, look for the easy or somewhat less difficult in. And number 3, have a topic or multiple topics ready for if there is that uncomfortable pause. And it's really all about getting out there and doing it. And then you'll see that it's, the worst that can happen, you will always get past it. So again, practice, 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 and good luck out there. All right. I see some comments on the chat about audio issues. Hopefully we're getting those repaired, and I will continue on. Our second question goes to Stella Uzokajoku Dennis. Sorry, Stella, if I butchered your name. Stella is founder of the Odyssey Educational Foundation, a not-for-profit organization in Nigeria that is focused on stimulating the growth of young minds towards innovation and invention. She holds degrees in electrical electronics engineering, physics, electronics, and education technology, and a master's in telecom management. She is an advocate for women in technology through her involvement in the Society of Women Engineers, First Robotics, and Technovation, a platform for girls to learn and apply the skills they need to solve real-world problems through technology. Today, Stella will answer the question, how do I have the confidence to fit in my team? So let's move on to Stella's video.
My name is Stella Uzochukwu Dennis. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a trained electrical electronics engineer. My question today is, do I have the confidence to fit in on my team? And I want to say, young girls, yes, I think you do. I do, and I know you do. And what are the things that will help build your confidence? Criticism is a positive one. When you're criticized, it's a positive one. It means you should work harder. You don't look at it as a negative one. You go home and work harder. It doesn't mean you cannot fit into that team. It means you should just work harder. And I also want to say, tell your team members that you can do it. I would always say, I can do it to my friends, even when I can't do it. All I need to do is go back home and then I work on how to do it better. I think you were able to do it. So tell your friends, if you're given an assignment in the office, try and work on it, try and do something about it. And my next point about helping you to work on your confidence, it's improving your knowledge. The internet is a vast resource. You can leverage on it and be able to get all the knowledge. I acquired a lot of knowledge for me to also work in my team. So all you need to do is to create time and make sure that you acquire knowledge on your own. You search the internet, you have a lot of materials on it, a lot of resources on it that you can leverage on and work on. And I also want to say, one of the things that has helped me in building my confidence is smiling. At all times I smile. I try to make sure, even when I'm under pressure, I try to smile, because that smile helps to bring out a lot of strength in you tell people that everything is under control. So learn to smile. It's one of the confidence booster. You can help to boost your confidence. And lastly, I want to tell my story. When I was in my office, I had a boss who said he was not going to let me come on the team because I was a female, that I wasn't going to be able to handle the tax. And what was the tax? The tax was that fire engulfed our building, and the building is about 10 floors. And for us to take electricity from ground floor to the upper floor, we need the bus bars. And so we had to work on the bus bars. And we needed, he felt we needed just men, but I was in the team and I was significant in that team. I helped to clean up the bus bars and we went up with a solution. And before long, we were able to get through and the building was back on electricity. So, and my boss said, oh, you're the first female I'm picking on my team and you did so well. And so at every point in time, I believe that you should try and create confidence and people will take you for who you are. Thank you so much.
All right. Our third question is going to go to Silvana Lara, a civil engineer with more than 23 years of experience in various project areas, including management and construction execution for the oil and gas and petrochemical industries in both North and South America. Her experiences allow her to play a key role in Fluor's construction management team. She provides leadership to the organization and functional areas and is primarily engaged in the management activities that establish the direction of the AWP departments. She's developed Fluor-specific AWP training programs and has trained over 250 Fluor staff on 4 continents. Today, Silvana will provide some advice on a topic of interest to many of us working women, how to balance the desire to be perfect with the stress involved. So let's jump to Silvana's video.
Hi, I'm Silvana Lara, Fluor Global Director of Advanced Wood Packaging. I am a civil engineer by trade. I born in Venezuela, migrated to Canada more than 10 years ago. And last year, I moved again to US. As a woman working in the main world, I want to speak to all of you about my path in life, where it's need to balance life to be successful professional. For women, it is more than just being educated and have a good work. It's required a balance that is quite complex and needs to be understood. The world we live in these days is different than the world 50, 20, or 10 years ago, not only at home, but at the rest of our life. Women are now more involved in corporations, communities, more accepted in fields where we were not accepted a few years ago. When I started my career a number of years ago, the number of women in engineering construction fields were very limited. Although it hasn't changed drastically, we see much more women in these days in these fields, and more important, in a high-level position. The recognition for our work has been slowly coming to us and more relevant as a professional. The balance of life is needed for each of our activities, at home, in work, in the office, in the street. We are moms, sisters, wives, daughters, grandmothers, granddaughters, co-workers, supervisors, neighbors, confidants, and so on. We have personal, corporate, and social responsibilities, and everything needs to be in balance. One important thing I do every day before I leave home is looking myself at the mirror and ask myself, what is my plan for today? What is important to start or complete today? So, I have a plan for the day, at least at a high level. The plan includes my family, my work, and everything that I love. These are a few tips I can give you to manage your life balance and be successful. First one, professionally. Understand what you do and try to do the best. You need to focus on one thing. Don't try to expect be good in everything. Nobody is. So, in the early stage of your career, pick what is a path for you and follow that and stick as much as possible. Of course, do adjustment if you need it. However, avoid change it. And if you change, it's because you really don't like what you are doing. Follow your instinct. hear feedback from others. And don't be shy to ask for feedback. Second one, pay attention to your family. It is no worse to be successful in your profession if you are not able to give and share with your family. There is nothing more important than family, and be thankful for their progress and achievement. Third one, get a mentor. You need somebody that guides you in your profession, somebody that not necessarily is an expert in the field you want to work, but with experience in life. 4, give to the people around you. The balance of life needs you to return what you give and receive. There are many ways to give and many people to give. Your family, your neighbors, your co-workers. Start to volunteer to share your experience and attend non-profit events to know people that inspire you, and more important that you inspire that another people. 5th, there is something constant in life, change. So adapt yourself to it. I know I mentioned you need to stick to a path. However, that path has to be adjusted to the exterior. Understanding what is happening around you is very important to take decisions. The decisions you take may not only have impact on you, but your family and your surroundings and your community and your companies. So, take educated decisions when you need it. 6, learn from what you do. Learn from your success and from your mistake. There is always room for improvement, and not avoid to make mistake or take advantage of the previous knowledge or success experience. 7, and the last one, take time for yourself. There shouldn't be nothing more important for you than yourself. Be healthy, maintain friends, talk to people, laugh, sleep, and rest. This may sound selfish sometimes, but it's true. I know for a fact, having a personal life, being a professional and successful is not easy, and it is a stress, but my experience is important to have a balance. It will make you successful. Understand your priorities, and those from the people around you are important, because that is what will help you. You can't have everything you want in the same day. If you make the summary, you will have all in the course of your life, not necessarily in the course of the day, or a week, or a month, or probably a year. But at the end, the balance will have everything you want and need. I'm sure about that. I hope this inspires you and in your career and in your life. Thanks for participating in the Global Marathon.
All right. Our 4th question is going to go to Martha Wakoli, Achieving Award recipient pursuing a master's in energy and sustainability. She is the founder of Queengineers, a publication that provides fun, relatable insight into the world of Kenyan female engineers. She received the inaugural Power Gaga Award, a professional award given to outstanding Kenyan women under 30 working within the energy sector. Today, Martha will give us some advice on owning the voice inside our heads. So let's go to Martha's video.
Hi, my name is Martha Wakoli. I'm an electrical engineer from Kenya. I'm currently doing my master's in energy and sustainability at the University of Southampton. I am also the founder and editor of a free online publication called Queengineers that celebrates Kenyan female engineers and is used to provide role models for young girls interested in joining STEM. I would like to tell a bit of my story to try and answer the question, who owns the voice inside your head, and hopefully offer some tips and tricks on how to overcome obstacles in our professional lives. My first job was as a rail engineer. I was 23 years old. I was part of a group of 20 graduate trainees, and our job was to improve business performance of the rail company at the time. They were doing a turnaround. And we were meant to do this by being provided with a small budget and a team in different thematic areas. And our job was to either improve efficiency, cut down on the losses, make more money, whatever it took to improve business performance. The team I was assigned was a team of specialists in locomotive maintenance. The average age of my team was really about 45 years old, and they were all male, which meant I was a 23-year-old fresh graduate with no experience, leading a team of men who've been doing their work for as long as I had been alive at the time, and convincing them that I know how to improve it. I was overwhelmed and, to be honest, a little terrified. Why? Because I had no idea how I was going to do that. However, I was one of only 2 female engineers in the lot of 20 graduate trainees. And I really, really wanted my project to be the best because I felt like I had something to prove, not just for me, but to provide a shot for other female engineers coming behind me. And so with a lot of humility, I approached my team, the team that I was meant to lead, and told them, I honestly don't know what you do or how you do it, but I'm willing to learn if you're willing to teach me. And surprisingly, they warmed up rather quickly to my approach because they felt like I had not come with authoritarian pride, and they therefore taught me what it is that they were doing. I very quickly observed as I was learning that every technician had a different way of maintaining the same locomotive, which really led me to thinking about what if we standardized the process? What if it didn't matter which technician handled what locomotive, the output would be consistent, and therefore we could provide a reliable, accurate report on how we maintain the trains and how long it would take us to do that. I therefore suggested it, documented the process, and came up with a simple checklist against which all the technicians were supposed to tick as they were doing the maintenance. In 8 months, it was actually observed that the failure rate of locomotives had decreased significantly, and that also meant the downtime had reduced. When you reduce downtime on a train that is carrying cargo, you save a lot of money because you charge fees based on how much cargo you move over a distance and in how much time you get it there. So it was observed that my project yielded results very quickly, and I actually had the best project back here. Which then leads me to the question, who owns the voice inside your head? And to successfully overcome obstacles in both your personal and professional life, the answer to that question needs to be you. You need to show up for yourself and really cultivate the mental fortitude to understand what you can and cannot achieve within a given timeline, but to also allow you to make decisions and stick with them. Because this means the same approach that you use to handle these kinds of small, well, figuratively small problems can be used to handle bigger challenges. You also need to accept that sometimes you do not know everything and you can learn something from your team. I hope from my story you're encouraged to overcome whatever obstacles come your way by simply owning the voice inside your head. Train yourself to react positively under pressure, and you do this by practice over and over, using your body language, building a strong support system around you, but most importantly, talking yourself into a space where you're confident in your own decisions. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for your time.
All right, our fifth and final question goes to Christina Swallow, President of the American Society of Civil Engineers. She is a program manager at the City of Las Vegas in the Public Works Department. Previously, she was a transportation policy advisor for Senator Tom Udall, where she worked on the Federal Aviation Administration Reauthorization Bill and development and passage of the MAP 21 Surface Transportation Authorization Bill. Christina has been an active ASCE member since 1995, serving at the local and regional levels on an institute board and on various society-level committees, including the Committee on Education and Diversity. Today, Christina will help us all make a little more money by giving us some tips on negotiating salary. So let's go to Christina's video.
Hi, I'm Christina Swallow, the 2018 president of the American Society of Civil Engineers. And today I'd like to talk to you about one tip I wish I had known when I started my career: how to negotiate my salary. Research shows that one of the reasons for the gender wage gap is the fact that women are far less likely to negotiate their salary or ask for promotion. It's one thing I have yet to do. Fortunately, though, there are a lot of tips out there, and I'd like to share with you some of those, and particularly those that I'm probably going to use in my next negotiation. The first one is do your research. There is an abundance of information out there on what we should be paid at various stages in our career and depending on where we're located. You can use your professional societies, such as the American Society for Civil Engineers, the IEEE, or the AICHE salary surveys. All of them have something that helps us identify and narrow down what fair compensation is in our specific industry. There's also some out there that are much more broad-based, like Glassdoor and PayScale. Those give you cues, again, locally as well as broadly within the industry on what you should be paid. And then you should also consider finding somebody to ask and doing your own informal surveys, whether that's through connecting with your alma mater's alumni network or even just asking your friends and colleagues. Those can be great resources on what fair pay is. Once you've done your research, then you need to practice. Practice your pitch. Be prepared to discuss what the skills are that you offer to your employer. Be prepared to give them specific examples on how you might help them achieve their outcomes and goals. Are you adding to their bottom line? Are you getting projects out faster with less resources? How are you helping contribute to the outcomes of the firm? That will help you be able to justify the salary that you're asking for. But once you've figured out all of those, you need to practice it. So practice your pitch. Practice it with your colleagues, with your friends, with your spouse, with your parents, with your dogs, in front of a mirror. But practice it. The more times you practice saying it, the better you'll get and the more confident you'll be in your ask. That leads me to my third tip. Have confidence, or fake it till you make it. As I mentioned, as you practice, you'll develop confidence. But if that's not enough, consider what you would say if you were asking on behalf of a friend. A Harvard research study shows that we would ask for $7,000 more on average if we were doing the pitch on behalf of our friend. So use that bit of information to help you build your confidence when you do your ask. And lastly, focus on your words. Your ask for equitable pay is not just about you. It's also about the company and making sure they understand how you are helping contribute to their bottom line, how you are helping contribute to their desired outcomes. So as you do your pitch, be prepared for them to come back with a counteroffer. Thank them graciously for their counteroffer, but don't be afraid to reiterate the reason for your ask and stand by your initial request. It's okay to say thank you so much for consideration. The reason why I was asking for the salary was because I feel I've done these things to help contribute to the company's bottom line, and if I was compensated more, I'd be able to continue to help in these ways. All of these are great tips that I'm hoping to use on my next negotiation, and I hope you will too. Good luck.